This guy used a relationship or a handful of relationships
never lie about it.
that we have to pitch us. I was about ready to drop $60,000 for a month and a half for the services based on the pitch that he sent.
The whole purpose of this show is to engage with business owners and be able to answer questions for people that will give them some insight and perspective on how to grow and scale a business. Not only leadership, but real life examples. This is the golden moment. I would do business with you right now.
Buddy, welcome to 10X Owners Live.
Can you say it like it's cool?
Hey, everybody, welcome to 10X Owners Live.
There it is. That's much better. That's so much better.
The first one, I believe, after GrowthCon. Is that right?
No,
we had one last week. It seems like GrowthCon was this weekend. Oh, that's because we had 360s.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, we're just on a roll here.
Oh my gosh. Who else is on a roll? Put in the chat.
If you're
I'm
on a roll,
rolling.
Rolling.
Is that the right way to say it?
Rolling.
That's not like a drug term, is it?
No. All right. Look at all the rolling going on.
Look at that.
That's awesome. What are you laughing at?
I think based on the laughs, it might be.
I don't know. This is a live show.
We're rolling without the drugs. Zero drugs. We're not into that around here. Anyway, I think we should do an introduction since we've just started this show off so nicely in this fine Tuesday afternoon. Brandon, who are you?
Everybody, I'm Brandon Dawson, co-founder of Cardone Ventures.
And CEO.
And
head visionary.
And Natalie's direct boss.
Yeah, that's fun. That's true. No shame in that game.
Why don't you introduce who you are?
Oh, my name is Natalie. I'm responsible for all of the operations at this fine organization called Cardone Ventures. And we're excited to get to talk to you tonight. We're talking about why collaboration is the new currency. You and I like to collaborate.
I do want to also one additional thing.
What's the smile about?
One additional thing.
Pull this down a little bit.
One additional thing, because anybody put new if you're new. This is your first 10X Owners Live. Put new. Okay, so the reason I'm asking this question, if you're new, because it could be confusing. The fact that how close we are, both officers in the company, but she's also my wife.
Now we have the same last name. I don't think people get confused about this
in the
anymore.
old days they'd be.
Yeah, I think we covered that. We're married, just we're not siblings. We're not any other relationship besides
she's not my
husband,
daughter.
Wife. Nope, I'm definitely not. Thank you for that though. That's great. Okay. New people, welcome. You can see it's a big family call on these Tuesday nights.
Love Tuesday nights, Owners Live. This is a little bit of a combination of business. It's celebrating wins.
Entertainment.
It's entertainment.
I'm here for the entertainment. I think I create all of the entertainment. You get a little serious.
That's true. I'm here for the intellect.
That's true. That's fair. How funny. We swap roles for this call.
All right, look, it has been a remarkable 2 weeks coming off GrowthCon. We met so many business owners and spent our time with so many business owners that are absolutely crushing it right now in their business. In fact, we had a whole bunch of people come into the 10X 360 this weekend because they heard about GrowthCon. And for a few of them, it was their first experience ever working with us. So
cool.
It is really super cool when you guys succeed and you send friends and family to see us. We truly puts extra pressure on us because we would never want to fail one of our relationships. And this is why we talk about collaboration being the new currency.
So what does that mean when you say that? I know it sounds like fairly simple, but what do you mean by the new currency?
Yeah. So, look, this has been something I've talked about for a long time. It's something I fundamentally believe in. It's why we partnered with Grant and Elena Cardone, that who we associate with, who we focus on conquering with, who we build a relationship with, who we can help, who we can impact, who we can lead will ultimately compound our impact. So we don't need to be worried about money because money follows success. And if you're collaborating, and we've been able to prove this with business owners that were competing with other business owners that they didn't really compete with. So if I've got a solar business, a roofing business, a windows business, a dental organization, a chiropractic organization, you're all out trying to do your own thing in your community. But if all of a sudden you come in and collaborate, for example, how could a chiropractor collaborate with a roofer?
How?
Well, they bring some of the roofing employees in, they give them adjustments, they do some things, and they start promoting, cross promoting the roofing business. And now I understand HIPAA and all this. You got to get you have them promote you. And then maybe you do a customer appreciation and you bring all the different people that you work with, like Boot Boss is on here, I think. She sells boots to lots of different businesses, construction businesses. All of a sudden she holds an event that she brings them all together, and all of a sudden they're comparing notes, and it's like, oh, I got a customer who needs a new swimming pool. Well, I don't do swimming pools, I do windows. Oh, but if my customer that wants a swimming pool and you do a swimming pool, but do you have customers that need windows when you do swimming pools? And then all of a sudden the roofer comes in, and the roofer's like, well, I have customers that ask me all the time, do you know anybody that can do my hardscape swimming pools? Do you know anybody that can do my windows? Can they fix my HVAC for me? So collaboration is when you go build a network inside of your ecosystem so that you can cross refer to each other. But the way you build that network is by helping each other. So at the end of the day, collaboration is the new currency, because money will follow the collaboration. But if you say, I'm not going to collaborate until I get money, then you're isolating yourself from all the people that can help you.
Well, and you're just staying small. I remember when we first started going down this path of creating social content. This was 3.5, maybe 4 years ago, prior to us being in a relationship from a partnership standpoint with Grant Cardone and Elena Cardone. And at that time, it's so silly how we went about content creation. We thought that it was just putting out lots of content, writing blog posts, making Instagram posts, making video posts. And yes, that action, that activity got us closer to our targets. However, collaborating with somebody, even in our local market, forget about collaborating with a name like Grant Cardone or the 10X brand, even collaborating with somebody who has a bigger account in your region, like that can create so much lift for your brand. And oftentimes, instead of doing the hard thing, which is asking for the collaboration and having a valuable pitch, we just go into, oh, I'm just going to do this on my own and I'm just going to figure this out by myself. And yes, you can do it that way, but it really is the slow way to make movement on a lot of these social platforms and growing your business. It's not just about the social growth. It's about, okay, if I know I need people in order to grow my business, how do I use a referral network inside my existing community in order to make that happen? I would love to have, because we talk about this and sometimes I feel like people don't like really think about how they can apply this to their business. So I would love to have people put in the chat right now 2 people and or businesses that you are going to target a collaboration pitch with between this Tuesday's call and next Tuesday's call. So who do you want to collaborate? Who would be on that list? I want you to put it.
Give them an example.
Oh, what would be the example?
I went to a private meeting of business owners.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
And I met 15 prominent business owners. And there was a presentation to us by a third party. I didn't even know they were going to be there, about a venture fund that they've launched here in Arizona, specifically for businesses in Arizona. Well, the person launching that established that fund has raised like $95 million. He's Peter Thiel's partner, and he was one of the founders of PayPal. And he happens to live here in Arizona. So he's raising this money. So of course, when I hear him and hear the presentation, I introduce myself. And I'm like, hey, I don't know how to pick tech companies to invest in, but I do know how to help all companies grow and scale. So we started cross comparing our experiences. And he was like, oh, dude, I wish we could offer something like that to our portfolio companies that start winning and actually have a great tech, because most of them screw their business up because they don't know what they're doing. And I'm like, I'll tell you what, I'll invest in your fund. And then you bring me in and I'll present to you guys what we do. And we'll see if we can collaborate in how we're doing it. And the truth is, I already wanted a collaboration because the person that he works closest with, that they got a $50 million grant from the state of Arizona, is the dean of the business school for ASU. And the truth is, that was my true approach, is I want to have a relationship with the dean of the business school of ASU. And I have 2 or 3 friends that know the dean. I could have asked one of my friends to introduce me, but I would rather make an investment in this tech business, be part of the advisory board here in Arizona associated with them, and then have him, along with my other friends, introduce me to the dean. So the dean sees I'm taking an active interest in the community. And then all of a sudden we'll be interviewing all the interns for the summer jobs from the business school. See, so the collaboration for me is, I really wanted to get to the dean, but I also want a relationship with this venture tech, because it's a hot item in Arizona right now. And I just launched Cardone Equity Group, which is not a venture tech, it's an operating tech. But the point is, now I'll get him to help me. So it isn't just about, oh, should I make an investment in this company? Like, the whole thing is interconnected, and I want to collaborate with everyone in his ecosystem. And I want his ecosystem to collaborate in our ecosystem. That's having a much bigger purpose with a single conversation.
Well, and I love this idea. When you talk about collaboration, there's a way to do it transactionally, and there's a way to do it transformationally. And the transactional way, once you've specified your 2 targets, so we got to get clear on the 2 targets, but once you know who those 2 people are, they're not groups. Some people are putting in here like realtors or roofers. No, it's like, what roofer? Like, it is a person. It is never just a group of people, because if it's a group of people, then you're not going to take action for the ask for the collaboration. So if you did put a group of people, figure out, okay, if I am going to collaborate with realtors, what realtor or 2 realtors between today and next Tuesday are you going to target? But once you figure out who those are, did you notice what he just said about one of the first steps he's going to take with this new relationship? Did anybody pick that up? I'm just going to see in the chat. Anybody here? Invest. Exactly. So how do you, and this is a John Maxwell principle, how do you give a hand before you ask for a hand? And sometimes people have a hard time creatively coming up with what the right path is. But if your business can offer that person visibility, if your business can offer that person services, free services, if you can personally offer services to them or going above and beyond in order to make that relationship work, like, how can you offer that first, instead of being transactional by just asking for, hey, I'd like to collaborate with you? I can't tell you, I'm sure you get 10 times more than I do, but I can't tell you a day how many times people send me the most transactional pitch about collaborating with their jewelry brand or collaborating with their marketing plan. Or the worst thing that you can do, if you want someone's business, the last thing you should be doing is tearing apart their existing service offerings. It doesn't make you look smart. It actually puts the person on the defense to say, like, you don't even know what you're talking about because you don't understand why I do these things. So if you're trying to collaborate with somebody, don't start the relationship off by making them wrong. Remember, one of Grant's primary principles is you always agree with the customer. You're not starting off with agreement when you're pointing out flaws to them. You're starting them on the defense. And if I'm on the defense, do I want to do business with you? Probably not. So this collaboration piece should always start with you making that first move, giving a hand before you ask for a hand. And in some cases, it might look like investing in their businesses, but in many cases, it's honestly just doing business and transacting with them. It's buying their products, it's buying their services, it's leaving a review on a website. Like, that goes a long way when it comes to somebody thinking, oh, this person wants to build a long-term relationship with me versus, oh, I'm just going to take something from this person.
100%. All right, let's open it up for some questions. Let's take who's controlling the question. Somebody just pick somebody and bring them on here.
We can't see the names. So can we get Michael Mantooth?
Let's go.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. How you doing, Michael?
I'm good. So I was at 10X, the conference. That was dope. I have been really trying to buckle down and realize that I've been setting my goals very small compared to what I should be setting it at. And I guess I got 2 questions. One is I run a remodeling company right now, and I have one subcontractor. We've not even hitting 300,000 right now in gross revenue, but I know that I'm trying to collaborate as you guys are talking about, and I've been doing a lot of that this year. But one of the collaborations I'm wondering your opinion on is unions, and there's a carpenters union here that I know that I could get. I have a handful of people that I know they're not happy doing the same monotonous things, and I can offer a good atmosphere. But right now, I don't offer like a lot of the things that they're that.
Yeah,
they
look,
can
I
get.
honestly, I think you're gonna, I think trying to go into the union environment for what you're trying to do, you're gonna run into some obstacles. I would find people that want to be non-union, because you're looking to recruit people to collaborate with and work with you, and so I would find non-union people to start that off with, and try to find other people that are just like you. A lot of you guys go out and you start your own businesses, and then you try to go find remodel jobs and things, but you got to collaborate with people who are doing specialty. I'd go to the roofers, I'd go to the siders, I would go to the plumbers, I'd go to the electricians, I would go to a lot of those people come in and make a big mess, and they don't want to clean it up when they're done doing the work that they specialize in. But they need good sheetrock guys and finish people, and then you pick up other jobs because you're on site. So your collaboration would be going to all these other contractors and finding out who could give you work that could allow you to go into places they're already doing business, and then offer to do other things for the people that you're cleaning up behind them with. And they'll keep you busy because a lot of them have a lot of work to do, but they don't want to do the finished work.
Okay, so collaborate with other subs and build up that network more.
Exactly. You just do that. And then, and look, man, I'm going to tell everybody on here, there's no better remedy than being so overwhelmed with so many appointments and so much work that you got to figure out how to grow through it, versus trying to figure out where you can get a customer or a client or find a job.
Okay. So my other portion of that is I know that I want to try to find something that I can duplicate better than like doing a kitchen remodel this week and finishing an attic next week and so on. And I have a process with renovating windows that is not marketed well, even with the few people that I know that do it. And
all you need, listen, I'm going to tell everybody, when you have something that's unique, don't overthink it. Just go get 1, 2, or 3 customers, take photos of it, get quotes from those customers, and start promoting it. I use that example with Silva's. They went in and installed a mini pool into somebody's backyard, and didn't think much of it. And when we were running the data sets, we were like, that was a very profitable job. And they're like, yeah, they wanted to specialize. So we decided to put a campaign on, hey, if you want a mini pool, and we just promoted what we did with that one client, the testimony from that client, showing pictures of their pool, being proud of it, created a landing page, and that turned into a business that's doing millions of dollars. And they're now the authority of mini pools for retroing mini pools in the back of your house. So you just need to get 1 or 2 or 3 great clients, do great work, get them to do testimonials, shoot videos of it, put it on a landing page, and start driving people to it, saying, hey, this is a little known, unknown hack. You could get tax credits. You can increase the value of your home. You can get around your condos associations that are old, that have shitty little windows in there, and put beautiful windows in, which create value, like hit on the value proposition and go crazy with it, and get clients. And that, man, you get into those little veins of referrals, and next thing you know, it goes crazy. So I'm certain. Keep us informed. Good chatting with you, buddy. Thanks for coming to the GrowthCon.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. Let's bring Philip on. Philip Chan.
Hey guys, what's going on?
Good, bud. How you doing?
Appreciate you calling on me. Just want to let you know that GrowthCon was awesome, and I actually have been meaning to ask you this question at GrowthCon, but the room was so busy during Mastermind, and I think it applies to everyone. So like you talked about why you do these Tuesday calls, right? Because of Primerica. And maybe you can help me clarify. Consistency compounds. But then, Grant on stage, he talks about this guy making, I think, like close to 11 million. And then he's like, dude, you got to pivot. You got to pivot. Assets become liabilities at some point. So it's like, well, when do you make that distinction?
Yeah. So Philip, I don't want you to confuse two different conversations. That
Okay.
guy was in a business that was going to come over extreme FTC scrutiny. And they just hadn't got to him yet. And so Grant was saying to him, so there's a backstory there. Grant was saying to him, look, dude, that business is going to get shut down on you if you like it or not. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. And if you voluntarily do it, they won't bother you. But if you get a sanction and they shut you down, you won't be able to do other things because now you're going to be sanctioned. So he was like, he went home from that meeting. He's like, shut it down. And he was like, how do I become an advocate? He wasn't doing anything illegal. He just was in a market that was coming under scrutiny. And so he literally pivoted out of it and built a business bigger than that, because sometimes businesses, even though, put a lot of energy into businesses, but when they're hard businesses, they absorb so much of your life. And then all of a sudden you start into a business that just expands, but you still have that knowledge. And he pivoted into something else that blew up. It's much more profitable. It's much more rewarding. So don't confuse that story with consistency prevails over long periods of time.
Right.
That was a specific situation.
Yeah. Cause I was like, if this works, then how would 10X owners ever become a liability? I started thinking about that.
I could tell you how anything can become a liability like that. So 10X owners live, our team puts anywhere between 6 to 7 hours on this day in order to prep this, to make sure the content works, to make sure that everything is fully ready for when you guys come on. And Brandon's time, think about how valuable it is for Brandon to have 90 plus minutes on a Tuesday where it's focused on this. We could actually, if we took 90 minutes of Brandon's time, he could go generate revenue in another place. He could go make YouTube videos. He could make like any other area of growth. So when you groove something in like this, because it's working and it's been something that's been great for us, and it's a great way for us to connect with you guys, it turns into a liability when instead of doing this, instead of doing something else, you're choosing to do this over and over and over again.
Well, it consumes a lot of horsepower in the organization.
Mm-hmm.
But and Natalie's correct. If we weren't intentional about making sure that this, like we're going to make you an offer right now, right? So we're going to make you 2 offers. And here's the other thing, Philip, is you learn over time. Like when we used to do these, we were like, well, COVID hit. Nobody, like we don't even know what the hell we're doing. Let's just start a live show. And so we did it. But we've done millions of dollars off of Owners Live. And as we've done these, we've gotten better because consistency over long periods of time and adapting new things you learn, it's incremental improvement. So for example, we've learned what we used to do is just say, oh, we have a 360 next week or in 2 weeks and it's $40,000. And then another show, we'd say, we've got our people essentials and it's $5,000 if you want to come. There was never like, it was just whatever we were doing, we were just promoting it. And so we just promote whatever that price point was too. But now we've learned if we talk about 2 different things happening, people can slot in to those price points. So for example, we have our 10X business boot camp, the third week of April.
Oh, look at Bryce.
You're on it. This is why you need a team, by the way.
This is the only place you can buy these tickets because of GrowthCon. These got entirely sold out because we offer them with the total business transformation package.
But before GrowthCon,
Cardone Ventures gets ahead of things like this. And we're like, listen, we want to make this available to people who might not have attended GrowthCon or just didn't end up taking advantage of that offer. And so we have 10 tickets that are the only 10 tickets reserved for us, for anybody who has never been to a 10X business boot camp. This is an incredible event. It is 3 days on sales, marketing, and scaling. For the person in the chat who, I think her name was Britt, said, what's my 30, 60, 90 onboarding strategy like with a salesperson and what do the scripts look like? This is where that information straight from the Cardone sales team is covered. So if you are interested in joining us at this event, this is like selfishly,
and I'm just going to say though,
but it's just
sorry, go ahead.
selfishly.
Why don't you finish your thought?
Thank you so much. This event doesn't happen often. Sometimes we don't have a business boot camp for 6 months. And so this event, this 3 days, is secretly my favorite event that we do because of the information that's covered. And I take notes every single time. I learn new information and I am transformed at every single 10X business boot camp that we do. So if you have not done this yet, you absolutely should take advantage of this offer. And these are going to fly because we
And
only
so
have
here's,
10 of
I would
them.
like to, for the people that are not new, for our regular clients that are like, oh, I didn't get my employee a boot camp ticket or whatever. These tickets are going to be reserved specifically for only new people. So if this is your first exposure to us, you want to experience a boot camp, we have reserved these tickets specifically for you. So these tickets will not be used for someone's like, oh, I want to bring an extra employee or two, and they're already signed up, because I had to get a special allocation of these. So, okay, next thing is, what was the next thing? I was going to mention something.
The Cabo Mastermind.
Oh, so the next thing is, now, for those of you that we're already got a relationship with, if you weren't at GrowthCon, we announced that we added, because we're doing a Bahamas mastermind this weekend and it was oversold. So we put a Cabo mastermind on at the end of April, first week of May. It's 25,000 a seat. We've already filled 50% of those seats. So there's a handful of seats left. So if somebody wants to spend an elongated weekend with Grant, myself, Elena, Natalie, and the rest of the Cardone team, and there'll be some special guests there. This will be April 30th. Come in on the night of the 29th.
We'll have a kickoff reception.
We've got a badass kickoff reception. We have a yacht for a half a day to take us all around. This is a very special bonding opportunity. It's very intimate, and it's not for everybody, but it is for those that want to be in proximity to Grant, to us, and we've done a few of these, and it's such a great time to connect, and not only with us, but with your peers, because anybody that's spending that kind of money in that room is serious about being there. So
I also feel like it's very misleading that we happen to be having 2 of these in 1 month, because the last tropical mastermind that we did was a year ago.
we did one last year.
Yeah, we only did one.
And
We
Grant
used to
didn't
do
one at
these.
all.
Yeah, we used to do these
Yeah.
more often, and they're just, we've got busy schedules. As the world opens up, we have other places that we're traveling to. So this might be the last tropical mastermind that we do for the rest of this year. So if you're interested in coming,
Especially with the world tour.
I know the
'Cause
world tour is going
the
to be
world tour's
sick.
coming in the
More of that to come. But if you're interested in coming, we'd love to have you get that close proximity, hang out with B and G. I kind of like that. B and G, G and B. I don't know which
You
one
can't
comes
do that
first.
because they have the G and E show.
B and G and
So.
G and E, B, G and E
Well, what about you?
and N. Okay,
Okay.
that gets weird. Anyway,
All right.
back
So
to the
let's go
questions.
to the next. All right. Let's see who's got their hands up. So let's bring Britt on. Britt, how are you?
Britt.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
You can.
All right. Thank you. I just want to say we're so thankful. My husband and I, we own Next Level Supplies. And so we distribute tools and construction supplies. And we did 360 with you guys last year after doing a virtual with GrowthCon. And we've gone all in. I just quit my full-time job and we're just really excited. But my question is, we are starting to hire a lot of salespeople, or we're going to. But at what point in just constant calls and cold calls would you expect them to be selling at that point? Like, we have a script, but at what point do you expect them to get up to speed? And what is that expectation?
You got to sit with them and do it. You should record. You know what I did for our team is I came in the studio and I had the most common, like 20 questions, the top 10 objections. If somebody asked me, what do you do? How do you do it? Who do you do it for? And I just had them shoot that and put it in sequences. And then our new people, we train them on that.
Okay.
And then I would tell you, for every 100 calls they make, they might get 3 people that are talking to them. The 3 people, they may get 1 that will actually take the formal appointment. And so it's a numbers game. And If you're making 500 calls a week, you hope to be talking to 15 people, but it can't be purely transactional. If it's this, hey, we want to do business with you, do business with us or hang up. It's got to be, you've got to set a target. Like I tell my guys, I would rather you build a relationship with someone over 3 to 6 months, then do business, than try to close somebody on the first call. Because at the end of the day, people want to do business with people they like. And if they feel like they're just a transaction, they're not going to want to build a relationship. So Aaron put it in here, build a relationship, give your people permission to build a relationship, but they need to report who they're building a relationship with. And I also want to be clear, is building a relationship isn't spending 40 minutes on the phone talking about everything, because if they do find somebody and do that, they'll never take the call again, because they'll think, man, the last time it was so long-winded. So the call should be between 3 and 5 minutes. They should take notes on the people they're talking to, find out what the people like, find out what their hobbies are, find out what their work schedule is, find out how many locations they have. Do they have kids? What are their birth? Like any intel you can collect on the people you're talking to, and then send little gifts and stuff to them, build relationship over time, and then you'll do business with them.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Awesome.
One thing that also happens as you move from the person making these calls to somebody else doing it is oftentimes your client's objections get caught in your sales team, and they're not leveraged on the marketing side to be able to really address that and build the relationship in the nurture. And so as you're thinking about where to capture that, make it easy on yourself when you set it up originally, so that you're able, even just on a weekly basis, to say, okay, what are they coming in contact with? And as you hear those things, you can make more training to help them overcome whatever objections might be new. But B, how do you leverage those things and address them way at the front of the conversation in the marketing introduction, so it's not as difficult on your sales team?
Okay, great.
And let me just remind everybody that when we started these 10X Owners Live, our first 10X Owners Live had 6 people on it, and it was all employees, and I think 1 guest.
I think there was like 6 guests, and then the rest were like 12.
What does Grant say about facts and a good story?
I think
you don't need to correct me. She can't help herself.
It gets smaller every time. There was 2 employees on. That was it.
The point is, before I was so rudely interrupted.
Oh, now you know what it feels like.
The point is, it takes time and momentum, and don't give up. That's why when Philip was talking about, when I referenced Primerica, I'll never forget when I started working with Hector every single Tuesday night, because then everyone, including the new people, knew every Tuesday night. Now, if no one showed up on a Tuesday night, they used it as training. If somebody shows up on a Tuesday night, they all got in line and they went through the same process they go through every Tuesday night, because Hector was teaching his team what to do when they're on their own on Tuesday nights. So the point is when you're formatting a business, consistency over long periods of time eventually creates momentum. So don't be discouraged if things aren't happening immediately. Allow it to happen over time, and just be patient.
What's a good target around that? I've heard that the magic number is 87. Like, you have to commit. If you're going to launch a podcast, you need to do 87 episodes of the podcast. If you're going to launch a YouTube channel, it's 87. There's some math that was done around the number 87, like being the thing that makes people know that you're serious. Have you heard something different, or is there something in
No, there is. You got to ask, you just, sometimes you got to be the one to find those numbers. Okay. So
what's the minimum number, would you say, for somebody to like keep doing something that they aren't getting results in?
Yeah, I would do it 1,000 times until I got results, because I'm obviously doing something wrong. I'm not getting results, and I change it. This is where resilience with me leadership is really important, because at the end of the day, somebody has to pioneer and find out what things work or don't work. And so you just got to do it until you figure it out. And then at some point, you gain momentum, but that's what then you teach others. And you're an example of that. So many people want to have a business or find success, but they're not really willing to put the long-term work in. I've done the same thing over and over in some of my businesses for a year or 2 before it broke through. So just be patient, be consistent, and don't be sporadic. Like I'm going to do a Wednesday this week. Because the momentum of doing it consistently. And then the thing is, the team knows, like my team knows, hey, if we get on these phone calls and there's nobody on these calls, it isn't that our content isn't needed. It's people don't know about us. So what are we going to do to get in front of people so that we can help them? And that's what you got to be asking yourself. If you're committed to your cause, you'll eventually get the audience. So, all right, let's take another question here.
Let's get Rob unmuted. Rob Ward.
Hey guys.
Hey, how you doing, man?
Hi.
I'm doing great. Thanks for taking me on. We just, like a lot of these guys, just got back from GrowthCon, and we took our team out there. It was fabulous as always. This was our fourth one, but I came to the 10X 360 last year. Me and my dad, he was my vice president for my company, and I'm a custom home builder here in Oklahoma. And it was a major sock in the gut, honestly. A big eye opener, kind of what we seen coming, but really after you guys really drilled down on a lot of the information, it was kind of what Grant was saying with Mike up there with the credit game. We came back and was just sick to our stomach with the direction our company was going. And so we made a pivot shortly after we got back to kind of like what you said he did. We're creating an online training platform to try and educate individuals how to build a custom home themselves through our program. And there's nothing out there like it, and the details that we're pushing through it. But my question is, the pre-launch. We've got the modules built. They're in editing right now. We're probably about a month to 6 weeks out before the program's going to be really ready to operate. And how would you guys in my shoes try it? Because I mean, we're bootstrapping this thing. I don't have investors or anything to try and get this out to the masses like we're hoping this can do.
Yeah. So let me ask you a question.
Yes, sir.
I just want you to watch me, and I want you to be honest and tell me how many times you've done this. Hey, this is Brandon Dawson. I'm just launching a brand new platform. For those of you thinking about building a custom home, do you realize that overruns and overrides can cost you as much as 25 to 40% more than you expected in your budget? Click this link below if you want to figure out how to build your custom home on time, on budget, with the right quality that you would expect, which would create a massive resale value and save you a lot of time, energy, money, and frustration in the process. Click this link below. Okay. How many of those have you shot already?
Not 1,000 of them, that's for sure.
That's it, man.
But
it,
we've
dude,
done probably
here's the
50,
thing.
60.
You need to be
We're
pushing
just
it
getting
out.
broken.
Yeah, but here's the thing. It does not matter. You do not have the product yet.
Correct.
See, you need to be doing that. You need to be going out and talking. When's the last time you went out and said, hey, on Tuesday nights, I'm going to run. Don't do it on Tuesday night because you can't join me.
Oh my gosh.
So you're on Thursday nights. So on Thursday nights, you're going to run a special on, if you're thinking about building a custom home, how to save yourself 25% from the cost and do it under budget, faster than normal, with the highest quality products available in the marketplace. Click this link below. And then you've got a little Zoom thing going, and maybe no one shows up, or maybe you have 12 of your friends show up. So, and then you just run an ad, and then people, so the thing is, or you link them to it on the landing page. Like it takes more creativity than it does money.
Totally.
And this is the stuff you need to learn to do, because you should be promoting this and building a list. This is something that Grant's been teaching us. I wouldn't have done this in my first business. I would have had everything right, everything done, and put all my money into getting it all created, and then I launched it. So,
but then you're launching from a cold start instead of having warm, interested people.
And you should be, if anything, dude, you should be the guy that's out collaborating with the HVAC that only does new homes, the windows that do high ends, the kitchen companies that do high end. You should have a list of 25 local people in your region that are in those markets, and you're going to be like a lead funnel, and they're your advertiser, and they're each paying you. Say, look, I don't expect to come in. I've created all these videos. Anybody in your marketplace, I'll refer them to you. So the GCs will have to work with you if they come through my system. Like, you should be collaborating with all of those people, high-end flooring guys, high-end counter people. And it's like, you should have that list. And then you have little sponsors, and then you put them on your podcast and you interview them. And look, you could probably make a list tonight of 100 people that you could be talking to about this. And you could just be in beast mode, putting content out there and connecting with people who will sponsor you. Like if you drop me in anywhere, Grant asked me this on our new show, because we got this undercover entrepreneur show that we're working on. And he's like, dude, he said to me yesterday, do you want to be the first guy to do it? And I'm like, I want to do it because I want to beat your ass and your record. And he's like, but how much are you going to give up for you and I? How much will you and I have to invest if you're going to be out of pocket for 90 days? He and I ran the math on it. It's like a $15 million hit for me to disappear for 90 days. And he's like, well, if you really want to do it, I'm your partner and I'm going to support you. I'm like, forget it, man. I'm going to do the 15 million. The point is, if you hired me tomorrow and you said, I don't have any money, but I'm going to pay you a percentage of every sponsor, every revenue share arrangement, everybody who's, and I'll give you $100 for every podcast you set me up. I'd go out and just start calling on the list of I'd open up the business journal for your marketplace and see who got awarded the top 100 contractors or I just find the data and start calling people and going out and visiting them. Like massive action.
One additional piece on that. If you're for anybody who's in the course space and you're running direct ads to try to have somebody buy a course or some sort of offering, one thing that works really well that you should consider is having a upsell after somebody opts in with you so that you can offset your ad spend. So if it's going to cost you $30 to acquire a customer, depending on how niche you are, have a $47 like checklist for all of the things that you need to ask prior to starting this custom project. And not everybody is going to take advantage of that offer, but if it's the right offer, a lot of people will. And then you're at a place where you're just getting new customers for free because your ad spend is essentially zero because you've given them so much value on the front end.
And look, you could pull from the business journals of every marketplace. You could pull the top 5 or 10 custom home builders from every single market in the United States. You should be reaching out, telling them you put this thing together and say, look, I want to refer anybody that hits and downloads and watches this to you guys, but you got to know I'm talking about how to save money in the upsells and the blah, blah, blah. And I'm also saying work with people that have the highest quality, best reputation. And I see you're one of the top people in the marketplace. So I'd love to be able to drive anybody that inquires. And I would use that as a lead gen to get thousands of people around the country that are like, yeah, sure. I'll anybody you send to me that wants to do a custom home, I'll treat them right. And I would even say to them, look, I'll take a 1% or 2.5% lead conversion if I bring them up, like revenue share agreements. There's so many ways, guys, to make money. The traditional way of you waiting to find one buyer to buy and download your system is not the fastest way to do it.
Definitely not the fastest way.
Awesome. Thank you, guys. I know that's one of the things we're really hoping on a larger scale is the advertising, getting those vetted subcontractors and lumber yards. And we've already talked to Metro Appliances and Builders First Source as far as offering a national discount to customers through our course.
Let's go.
And they're very excited.
That's all good stuff, dude.
So we're pretty excited about it.
Good for you. Just go crazy. Just go crazy on that. They'll start offering your courses for you.
Thank you, guys. I really appreciate all your efforts.
Great. Let's blow it up. All right. Let's see who's next.
We can't see the names, but if we could see the names, there they
Let's
are.
bring Peter. Peter, how you doing?
Peter, you look like you're in some place that's cold.
You got to unmute.
It's like 80 degrees in Scottsdale today. We have no place for hats. It got real hot.
I'd love to be in Scottsdale right now. I'm up in Maine.
Oh, yeah. So it is cold where you're at.
Yeah. Thanks for taking my question. So we've had a lot of successes over the past 4 months. We're up 75% over last year. And the thing we're really doing for sales is a monthly webinar. We're branding and advertising agency. And we've had a lot of success with that. We've been doing a lot of collaborations. And we also have a couple events that we're going to be pushing to our list as well. But one question I have is like, do you have any advice on how to amplify those webinars? How how to get more interest. We're collaborating with advertisers, TV stations, local chambers, but also next year we want to acquire some larger government accounts, but that takes a lot of it. We're competing with people with a lot of experience, and they want to see that we've had experience, working on these larger campaigns. So it's kind of a chicken egg scenario. I just wondered if you had any advice on those two things.
It's good that you know that. So I'm just telling everybody, the first thing is knowledge is key, because you should be planting those seeds and talking to those people. Look, I learned a long time ago when I was out raising money, accept the rejection, but then ask the question. So when someone is saying, I'm sorry, Brandon, you're just too inexperienced. You're too early stage. You're not quite at a place where we'd be comfortable making an investment. I would look at them and say, duly noted. When I come back and see you, what do you need me to tell you that I would fit what you would be looking for? And I would keep a log of every person that would tell me, well, you need to have raised at least 6 million. You would have had to done at least 20 million of acquisitions. We'd have to know you have at least 10 million or 100 million in the pipeline. And I would keep track. I'd say, I will not bother you again until I have this, but just know when I come back and see you, I want you to have the confidence that I did everything you said I needed to do. And I built relationships that I went back to in the 3rd year, in the 4th year, in the 5th year. And that's how I landed Warburg Pincus. It actually only took me 2 years. But the point is because when I went in there the first time, they're like, you're way too small. You're a Canadian company. You're this, you're that. All these objections. I'm like, great. But let's assume I'm not. Let's assume I presented what I was doing and I was the right size for you to be excited. What does that look like? And after they told me that, I'm like, all right, so if I go do that, you're telling me that you would do business with me. And at that point, what's somebody going to say? They don't believe you're going to do it anyway. So they don't have any skin in the game. And they're like, yeah, absolutely. Then when you come back, they're like, I can't believe you did it that fast. Good for you. They take you serious. You have to play relationships for the long game and have as many of those conversations as you can so that you can build. Because those people too, they'll see that consistency and they'll be, but you know what? And then I always like to ask this question when I get rejection and I qualify it. What would I have had to present it to you for you to say yes? And then they tell you, and then I like to ask this question. Who do you know that based on what I did present to you today, the people that send deals to you, who do you know that would be interested in what I'm talking about right now? That could be a stepping stone. Do you know, I ask that question when I get rejected and probably 20-30% of the time I get a referral. And then I ask, do you mind if I use your name in the referral process? They're like, no, go ahead. So now I got permission to say I was talking to John Smith over at ABC. And John Smith said that you like deals that are in the $1 million range, the early stage startups, but you just want to have a consistent management team that's got credibility. What could I do, or when could I put something in front of you that might be interesting to you? See, but now I have a reason to call him. And when I set the appointment, it's RE. John Smith told me I could call, or told me I should call. So all of a sudden I have a connection to somebody they know. You got to learn to play that game because you're going to have 1,000 of those moving parts. And this is what you need to teach your sales team, because at the end of the day, and so I see that's, we got some Primerica fans on here too, but that's the same thing, man. When you're making your 25 outreach calls a day, it's who you know that knows somebody that might be interested in having a conversation, or that knows somebody that might have a conversation with you.
Can I just clarify though? You cannot overstep on this. This just happened to us last week where this guy used a relationship or a handful of relationships
never lie about it,
that we have to pitch us. And it was an interesting enough pitch. So I was like, okay, let's hop on a call. I didn't really want to do it, but I was like, this was interesting. Let's see where it lands. We get on this call. He pulls up this lady's account. We talk about her account for 5 minutes, everything that he's doing. I ask a bunch of questions about how their team is managing.
And she was turned on to it. She was like, sent me a thing saying,
I was about ready to drop $60,000 for a month and a half for the services based on the pitch that he sent. And I was like, but there's no way that these people that he's listed are actually paying this much money. Like I couldn't wrap my mind around it.
We know some of them.
We would potentially do that if the results were there. So I reached out to this woman to verify, like, hey, I wasn't even verifying that he worked on her account. I was verifying that she paid what he was quoting us on. And she said he has never, ever touched my account. He doesn't have a password. He doesn't have my login. I do all of this. And so I clarified in emails, like, just to be sure, because he pulled up and shared his screen with me and showed me her account. And so I restated the question, are you sure that he doesn't have any access? Because he said he did these 4 things. She must have thought I was crazy and couldn't read. But I was like, I just need to clarify because this is wild. She said, no, he's never touched my account. So when you are using
and
this,
he lost another client because she reached out to him and said,
yes,
that's not cool. And he was doing a piece of business for her
but not that
and not
piece.
that piece. And so she's like, integrity. That's right. So look, I'm not recommending you use those tactics, because let me just tell you something I learned a long time ago. It's a really small world. Even on a global basis, it's a small world. And so don't do anything that you'd ever be embarrassed by, and make sure that you get people's permission before you use their name.
Totally. All right. I think we have time for one more.
Let's throw the boot camp date up, please, guys,
yes.
and the mastermind slide. So if anybody can make it, that they can join us.
Do it. BK, can you share your screen? Throw that on up there. There it is. The 10X business boot camp. 10X your sales, 10X your marketing, and 10X your scaling. Also, one of the highlights of this is the one and only Sherry Hamilton, who is Grant's chief operating officer, goes deep into how they structure statistics and culture and different operating points inside the organization, which is fabulous. It's on day 3 with the scale day. Obviously, Brandon Dawson speaks. You get to see Grant, you get to see Jared. There's behind the scenes of how the whole thing works and how you can scale and grow in the same way that Grant and the Cardone Enterprise has. So there are only a handful of these tickets. I think our team texted us saying that there's only 4 of these left.
All right. Well, then let's go on to the mastermind. Let's throw that slide up. Anybody that wants to be intimate, spend time with us.
Just to clarify, you do not have to wear a suit at the mastermind. Neither Grant nor
It's
Brandon
kind of an interesting picture.
will be wearing suits at this mastermind.
I will be wearing a suit, a bathing suit.
Oh, that was
Snap.
good. That was pretty good.
All right. Let's go back to a couple questions and then we can.
I think we have time for one more question.
Okay. Lee
Team.
Fernandez has had her. She's. Let's bring Lee on. If you want to bring one more, you can pick one.
Well, I think the team just already unmuted someone.
Okay.
Regardless,
that's fine.
whatever.
We go back to Lee. Lee, I promise you, we'll get to you.
Where'd Lee go?
Oh, she bounced. Okay.
Team, why don't you just unmute it? Let's
Just unmute it, guys. Oh, okay. Hey.
Perfect.
Okay, great. Stop moving your cursor.
Yeah,
so
we
can see.
see.
I'm unmuted. I don't know.
Yeah,
Hi.
that's you. Go ahead.
Hi.
Sorry. We were waiting
Hi.
for you to start talking.
Amazing.
Oh, it wasn't
I'm
your
Dinah.
cursor we were talking
No,
about.
it was our guys. They were rubbing the cursor over it.
rubbing the
Well, you know
cursor.
what I
That
mean.
was just
Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it. I just got done with my first 10X Growth Con, which was out of this world. I actually was just planning on having my sales team go to it. And then the day before, I actually got invited and I decided, why not? And the sales guy was absolutely amazing. I loved his energy. And just off of that alone, I was like, absolutely, I'm going to go. I'm going to check it out and see what can happen. And so, I mean, I had an incredible time. I was actually on the stage with brightest, so that was amazing. Can't say I've ever done that at a networking event in my entire life.
Same.
Real quick to jump in. So I have a software development company. I'm a hybrid agency. I create apps for companies and founders. And so I help them basically scale their businesses using mobile applications to create lead generation funnels. Say if they're a coach of some kind, a life coach, fitness coach, and basically have their masterminds and be able to access all the people coming through to the App Store, the 100 million people that visit the App Store every single day. And it's something I've been doing for a long time. But as we all know, apps are kind of the newest, kind of scarier thing in product and technological adoption. And so my question is, it's kind of the pink elephant in the room when I'm on the calls with my sales guys, because a lot of people want to jump into the app world because they're curious, but they're so scared of new product adoption that it really holds us back. And it's one of the biggest objections. It's not even money. We've actually grown 5x every month since I took the big leap into my business 3 months ago. We went from 5,000, 20,000, all the way up to about 130,000 last month. And so we're growing at a huge rate. But right now, my biggest thing is just really convincing people without all the history and testimonials to make the leap into the app world, even though we kind of see that's the natural progression of where businesses are going from yellow pages to websites and now to apps. So my question to you is, how do I make that like Grant has done, where he's made his enterprise, he's made these new products, the innovation, a selling point versus a hindrance? So how do I pivot that?
So let me tell you, the first thing I'm going to tell you is congratulations for coming to your first Growth Con. That's first kind of thing. The second thing I'm going to tell you is you need to come as fast as possible to our next 10X 360. Did you do that program that we offered there?
No, not yet.
You need to do it, because if you're growing that fast, what I'm going to tell you is that by nature of your question, finding out what those personas are, how to market to them, how to message them, how to build around the highest valued relationships, how to being really focused on the things that drive value within the organization.
Yeah.
We say there's the 2% of the stuff that you know, the 2% you don't know, like you probably know that you're not the right person to be doing certain things in the business. It's the 96% of the stuff that bites you in the ass. And when you're growing like that, making sure that not only the what works, but making sure all the elements behind it, because you're blowing through breakpoint 1 and you're doing it at such a hot escalation that shoring it up before it gets out of control and wildly, and you start having upset clients and you start failing people or your own team or having other breaks in the business, something will give when you're growing like that. So I just would encourage you to take advantage of that TBD program. Get in front of us, let us help you. And the nature of your question will also be exposed through the process that we walk the business owners through. There's plenty of them on here right now that will tell you that it's mind blowing to them. I mean, you heard a couple of those testimonials already. I would just tell you that it's worth investing in that, because and then I'll be able to see exactly what you're doing, and we can give you the exact right guidance based on the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats within the business.
And one of the things as an early startup, it's fascinating because it's happening for Cardone Ventures right in this moment. If you don't have testimonials, which is a startup, you wouldn't, right? You see in our chat right now, we have 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 4 clients already in here. Like, no one's asked them to do this, that are just like, this is amazing. It's changed my life. Until you have that, there has to be something that you are giving in the exchange so that people trust you. And that might be in the form of a guarantee. That might be, there's a whole variety of things that you could utilize, but you are fighting as a startup to get those testimonials as quickly as possible, so that then you can start using that as your way of converting, and people aren't as fearful. The first people, like, we have so much appreciation for the first people who signed up for 10X 360 because they didn't know us. They didn't trust us.
Clients.
They are not that. I mean, we have some other great clients.
I'm saying we got like a deep best, not like best. I mean, like deepest relationship with, because they were our first clients that came through, and we've been with them so long now. Their businesses have grown so big that, like, the memory, we have those shared memories of the first time, and now we're here. So for you, creating that intentionally, and then also trying to find those veins of gold, where if you build an app for somebody that's in a particular kind of sector or space, and you could replicate it 15 times over without stepping on their toes, you've already built it once. So being able to do the same thing over and over and over and over, that's very similar. So finding similar and connected spaces to somebody these are all strategies that we cover in those 2 days. And,
Awesome.
and so, I would just tell you, I would encourage you to trust this community and go all in with us and let us help you blow it up. And then if it's as hot as you're saying it is, maybe Grant and I'll partner with you.
So great.
Well, don't worry, I already have the mock-ups for Grant Cardone University, so I'm ready when you guys are.
Let's go.
Let's go. So there's a couple
Thank you so
things.
much.
First, you're so welcome. We had this program running at GrowthCon where we wanted to shout out clients who have had such a remarkable experience with Cardone Ventures, where they talk to other clients and we're like, hey, you have to do this. Like, these people in the chat who are advocating, it's one thing that we believe in is giving referral credits to people who are like really actively willing to advocate for the success that they've had. And we offer this for anybody who does that with the most amount of people. And that person, one of the people, happens to be on this call.
Ooh.
And what we're offering is private coaching, which he doesn't even do this anymore. Like
Yeah,
Brandon
I
does
won't.
not
I
offer
won't.
private coaching.
won't
It
do it.
costs $150,000.
No, it's 200. The last 5 clients paid 200.
The last
I
5
still won't do
clients,
it.
and it's just because there's enough things for him to focus on. But that client happens to be on this call who is going to be getting private coaching with Brandon Dawson. So I would love to acknowledge the Morstads. I know Trista is on here. Trista, can we get you unmuted? I see it. I see it. It's coming. It's happening. Hi, Trista.
Hi there.
Can you translate this for Pat? I don't see Pat with you this time. Normally oh, there he is.
There he is, running in.
We'll just let him talk.
Hi, Pat.
Hello, guys. How are you?
We are so great. We appreciate you and wanted to say thank you. And I'm interested to know one of the first questions you're going to ask Brandon in your private coaching time. Do you already have that question prepped?
How do I blow up my landscaping business from 1 million to 25 million?
Well, you're already on your way, dude. You went from 1 million to 5 million. So that's a 5X. So now we just need to duplicate and go 5X again.
100%. No, we're really excited. We're doing some other things with the buy sell component of everything. I would like to have some of your insight on some of that, Brandon. We're looking at tactically growing and scaling the business that way. Would truly appreciate your insight and input on everything. And that just,
well, you're going to get it.
Your knowledge is going to get it.
I'm excited to work with you.
Yeah.
Continue to work with you, I should say.
Yeah. Well, I just can't say, if anyone on here is ever thinking about whether or not they should be part of this, all I can say is do what you have to do to go all in, because it is the greatest thing that will ever happen to you as a business owner, to be able to follow behind these two individuals with their brains, their mindsets, trust them wholeheartedly. I love them. They're part of our family now. I can't speak highly enough about them.
We
appreciate you guys. We appreciate your when you went all in exactly February of last year. And just so the new people on here understand, they had a business that was doing $1 million a year and they were making about $100,000 a year. And when he made the decision to go all in February, we ended the year in 10 months. He did $3.5 million and made $500,000. And this year, I think we'll do 900,000 in income and 4.5 to 5 million in revenue.
Yep, we've got big goals and we're pushing teams hard and we're trying to knock stuff out of the park. So yeah, it's awesome.
I will never forget the first time I almost introduced myself to you because you were standing by yourself. I think it was at a 360 event, and I believe it was Josh. I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna go talk to him. Can you tell me what his name is?" And Josh was like, he will not make a decision without his wife. He doesn't really believe that this is going to help him. He's just on the fence about this. And I was like, oh, great. I'm not popping in this conversation. I'm having a happy hour conversation. This is not the right direction I'm headed. And to have you guys on this journey with us through all of the things that we've experienced over the last year is incredible. And it's about to get even better because I know that the greatest time I get to spend with him is the one-on-one coaching around specific questions.
Continue to scratch my back as good as you do.
Yeah. Well, this is how I earn one-on-one question time with him.
You might need to bring a pitchfork with you.
We'll get all that figured out. Yeah. So I would have to say that there was a lot of apprehension on my side and Trista's side, and getting her approval with stuff as well. And if anybody ever has questions, we're always here. We're available to be able to do whatever is needed and necessary to help guide you. Trista has got some great experience with all of this too. And we can just tell you about our journey and how we got connected with Cardone and Brandon and Natalie. And it's just, it's been remarkable. That's all I can say.
we appreciate you
who's the
guys.
dog. Like, this is the first time I'm seeing this dog. I feel like we hang out every week. We haven't been introduced. What's up with this?
Okay, her name is Miko, and we connected with her about 6 years ago, and she is absolutely a little
She's
angel,
all
big
over me.
baby, and
She's all over
now
me
that
about
both of
letting her
our
get a dog.
Yes. Can
You're
you
not
guys,
helping
both of our
me,
can you
kids
Pat.
guys
are
put it
gone,
in the
so
chat?
You're not helping me,
that's
Pat.
our
Say
baby
help
now.
Natalie. Help Natalie in the chat if you think that Brandon needs to help
No.
Natalie by getting
No.
a dog.
We're not putting it out to bed. All right, listen, we do have some other commitments. We love this Tuesday night show. We appreciate all of you joining us.
The
I'm
people have
ignoring all.
spoken. The people have
They're-
spoken.
Those are all Natalie fans. So look, we do really appreciate spending our time with you.
We would love to see you in person, either at the business boot camp or with some extra personal time at that Cabo Mastermind.
And look, anybody that was at GrowthCon that you did not take advantage of the TBT, I know we talked to Dinah about it, but at the end of the day, we're committed to helping all of you find this remarkable success, but you're going to have the courage to go all in. And I will also say that if you guys have things that you think could be huge innovations for us, the place to show us that you want to have a relationship is that event, because that's where I get to spend time with you. The whole executive team is there. We get to see what you're talking about. We get to meet you. We get to understand your leadership skill sets, all the things that could take a lot of time to happen if we're interested in collaborating, or we can resolve it in 2 days right there on the spot. So anybody that's interested in working with us, that's the process you go through. We appreciate all of you. I appreciate my co-host, the most remarkable woman in the world, Natalie Dawson, my beautiful wife, and the chief operating officer, basically, of our company. And then our team is on here as well. So we'll turn it over to you guys, and we'll see you next Tuesday.
Bye,
night.
guys. We love you.
The whole purpose of this show is to engage with business owners and be able to answer questions for people that will give them some insight and perspective on how to grow and scale a business. Not only leadership, but real life examples. This is the golden moment. I would do business with you right now.